Hello guys, this is Eating Habits 101. In this video, I'll explain to you how to sustain good eating habits, then the only things you need to know about losing weight and dieting, and then some myths that are not true. So first of all, what many people don't seem to understand, like really 90% of people don't seem to understand, is that the output is your input. Many people feel like shit, perform like shit, they recover like shit, and guess what? It's because they eat like shit. Just what you put in your body is exactly what you will output. It's very important that you eat exactly what you need. Then not everyone has the same goals, and so not everyone should have the same diet. So I'm just going to give tips on how to sustain a healthy diet, but what the diet actually is, that should be based off your goals. If you're training for bodybuilding or losing weight, you should do different things. If you've got different goals, then you should just adjust your diet based on that. So how do you sustain a healthy diet? How do you sustain a good and healthy diet? First of all, you can never eat what you don't have. So some people understand this, but I don't think many people are actually implementing this. So first of all, if you simply don't buy shit, if you don't buy trash foods with shitty nutrients, then you can never eat like shit, even when you're craving that. So just not having any unhealthy stuff in your house is going to help you a lot. But what many people don't understand here is that you shouldn't go to the store when you're hungry. Again, some people understand this, they know this, but it seems to be very difficult to actually do this. So many people wait until they're hungry, many people wait until they're hungry to go to the store. But what you should do is, when you're not hungry and you've got some time, that's when you should just go to the store. And that's sometimes a bit of a difficult or a bit of a mature decision to make, but that is going to help you a lot. So for example, you could eat breakfast and then go to the store. That's going to make sure that you're just going to buy healthy stuff, the foods that you actually need, and you're not going to buy unhealthy stuff. And this is going to prevent you from cheating on your diet. So then the main thing that I think no one does, but is very important, is having sensitive taste buds. So what this means is, when you don't eat a lot of sugar, or you don't eat very flavory stuff, you don't eat very processed stuff, that's where your taste buds will get more sensitive. And that means that unhealthy stuff is gonna be more flavory, and you're not gonna like it that much anymore. So if you eat less sugar, less processed foods, then you're not going to crave the sugar and unprocessed foods as much. And this will allow you to keep eating healthier stuff, and you're going to find healthier stuff taste better. You're going to see that you can actually start to enjoy vegetables and fruits, and you're going to see that it doesn't even taste that bad. If you currently feel like all the healthy stuff just doesn't taste good and it's unsustainable because you just keep craving these things, then make sure that first of all you don't have that in the house, and then secondly, slowly but surely, if you keep eating more whole foods, then your taste buds will get more sensitive, and you're gonna crave it less, and that means you're gonna find the healthy stuff more enjoyable, and this will make sure that you can just enjoy healthy meals. So another thing that you should do is not look at the output immediately. If you feel like you've currently got a problem, you're performing like shit, you feel like shit, or something else that has to do with your food, or you realize that you could improve something in your life if you change your diet, just like any other goal, don't score on your output, but focus on the input and actually reward yourself in some way if you're eating healthy. Because again, just like building muscle or losing weight, it's gonna take a lot of time. Within a couple hours or a couple days, you might not see the effects of eating healthier, and this could make you think that eating healthy is not worth it or it doesn't do anything, but you need to realize that it does take time, and so you need to reward yourself on eating healthy in the first place, so that you're gonna see that your body is gonna realize that eating healthy is a task that is worthy, instead of that eating healthy is something that is not worth doing. So then, in my opinion, there's really only two things that you need to do when it comes to losing weight or dieting. And the very simple rule, what everyone should know, is just it's calories in and calories out. The calories in should be less than the calories out, so that you lose calories. You should be in a calorie deficit. And then from here, everyone tries to overcomplicate it. What I have seen, what has worked for me very well, is not tracking calories, because that takes too much of my time. But what I do is two things. I eat high volume foods, meaning there's foods that have a lot of nutrients and a lot of volume for the amount of calories that they have, so that for less calories you are still more full, which means you're less hungry and you're gonna eat less. And then the second thing that I do is just eat whole foods. And I've got sensitive taste buds, so that I can actually eat those high volume foods, because most often the high volume foods are not as enjoyable as the low volume foods. For example, high volume foods are most often vegetables or fruits, and what I recommend doing is adding vegetables or fruits to any meal, so that any meal will have more volume for the amount of calories that they have. And having sensitive taste buds allows me to eat what most people consider very bad tasting foods. For example, I'm sometimes eating uncooked potatoes. They're not raw, but it's like somewhat hard from the inside, and it's just cold. It's just coming out of the fridge. And this is something where a lot of people just couldn't eat. There's also rice cakes or mice cakes, and this is just super dry. It just doesn't taste like anything, but because my taste buds are so sensitive, I can actually enjoy this thing, and I can eat like an entire package, which is 500 calories. It takes forever to eat, and then it just has high volume, and you will feel full because it takes forever to eat. That's when you're gonna feel full as well. So that brings me to another couple things. There's a few there's a few tricks you can do to feel like you're eating more. So you can actually eat your food on smaller plates with smaller cutlery. This might sound stupid, and this might sound a bit advanced, but this actually helps. If you eat your food on a smaller plate and with smaller cutlery, it's gonna take longer to eat, and also the food is gonna look bigger relative to the plate and to the cutlery. And maybe you feel like this doesn't matter, but it does actually matter. If you actually do this, if you have a small plate, but it's completely full, that feels like it's a full plate, even though it's small. And if you've got a very big plate with just a little bit of food, it's gonna feel like you're eating nothing. So you might feel like this doesn't do anything, but if you want to take it seriously, then you should try to increase your perception of how much you're eating. And also, you should try to, this is something that I don't really do because I want to have efficient meals, but you should want to take longer per meal to eat it. And so there's also two myths that I want to talk about that are not true. So first of all, a snack every now and then keeps your diet sustainable. That is just not true in my opinion. For most people, when they eat one unhealthy thing, after a good diet, they usually just crash completely and they eat the entire package of whatever it is. And in my opinion, or not in my opinion, just you're gonna crave more and more. Even if you're in a healthy diet, if you just eat one unhealthy thing, you're gonna start to crave that thing again. So in my opinion, you should just really not do that. Also, there's no need to do it because you simply shouldn't have that thing in your house in the first place. And then the second thing is, if you want to lose weight, then you should be on an aggressive cut. And this is something that I really don't recommend. An aggressive cut should really only be done by professional bodybuilders or professional athletes, because if you're like a beginner or you don't know much about nutrients, about nutrition, and about training, then chances are very high that you don't know what your body actually needs. And hormones are very important when it comes to energy, when it comes to your focus, everything that you do in an entire day. And a mistake that a lot of people could make if they want to lose weight quickly is they go into a cut that is too aggressive. They go just 1,000 calories below their maintenance and they don't eat enough fats, which leads to their hormones crashing completely, which leads to having no energy during the day, which leads to having an unsustainable diet. So what I always recommend is slow but consistently. Time is gonna pass anyway. So if you want to lose weight, don't think that you can lose 10 kilograms in just 2 months, because that might be doable for professionals, that might be doable for people who know what they're doing. But after all, if you're a beginner and you just want to lose weight, then try to form healthy habits instead of trying to cut too aggressively and having an unsustainable diet, because it is very much possible to just lose weight over a long period. You can just be on a deficit of 100 and 200. You don't need to track your calories. You don't need to do anything. All you need to do is just eat whole foods, just be below your maintenance calories, and that's where you're gonna lose weight slowly but surely. And if you feel like 200 calories is not going fast enough, then just realize that 200 times 30 is 6,000 calories in a month, which is almost a kilogram of fat per month. And if you then think about what 10 or 12 months can do, then you can lose like 5 or 6 kilograms of fat within that period of time. And time is gonna pass anyways, so you might as well take it slowly but consistently and build healthy habits instead of rushing to your goal and then crashing. And I think that's it. Good luck.